kind of motivated you to join this organization?
So the reason why I decided to join SGA is because I realized that there are some problems with representation at the university whenever some of the students have a specific concern. For example, one of the things that I like to focus on a lot is just minor day-to-day stuff, such as having microwaves in the science building. I'm advocating for the students to have their own microwave there so that they're allowed to warm up their food and not have to walk to the library. And that's basically what SGA is all about. It's mostly about just advocating for student concerns, listening to the student body, and making sure that everyone is having the best experience that they possibly can here at UTRGV. And I'm really grateful for the position that I'm in today.
Awesome. Well spoken. And JP, what I know you spoke a little bit on it, but what does it mean to you to be able to pretty much be a leader for your college and for the university?
So for me, it's a really big honor to be part of the Student Government Association. What it means to me to be a senator here at UTRGV just basically means, again, advocating for student concerns, making sure that everyone has the best experience possible, meeting a bunch of very important people here at the university, and making sure that everything is well coordinated, events, student life, academic affairs, meet the deans, a bunch of different events, planning them, making sure that everything goes smoothly, and that, again, I say this a lot, but just making sure that everyone has a good time here at the university.
Awesome. And then last question, because I know we'll be hearing from you throughout the episode, is what was your kind of origin story into SGA? I know for me and Andrea, we went through the FYI program, and that's how we learned about it, and we applied to get through voted in through appointment, and then of course we ran for election. But for you, I know every senator has a different process or a different story behind it. So what was the origin story of our current sergeant at arms?
So I did not go through the FYI program. Although I am a mentor for the FYI program currently. I did not start out that way. The way that I started out through SGA was that a good friend of mine, we went together to the high school that's right here on campus, the Mathematics and Science Academy. That's where I graduated from high school. Um, he and I were very close friends, and he encouraged me to run for the position of senator for the College of Sciences because he realized that the sole senator back then was not going to be representing the College of Sciences in the future. So the largest college in UTRGV, which is the College of Sciences, again, all those people who take chemistry, biology, physics, that whole thing, they were going to be left without a representative in the SGA, and that would mean that their concerns were not going to be heard. And I just thought that, hey, who better than me, somebody who's in his senior year and has been around the block, around UTRGV, and knows a thing or two about this place to basically represent the concerns of the science, College of Sciences. Um, the way that I started out in SGA was that I had a lot of good friends of mine who were running alongside me. They showed me the ropes. Again, actually, some of them are your hosts right now. So I really appreciate these guys. They showed me everything that I know about student government, and I'm extremely grateful to have friends as good as them who showed me just what it means to be a representative for the university.
Well, thank you for the very kind words. And with that being said, we're going to head into a quick PSA and then music break. But before we do that, I'm going to go ahead and just give you a quick preview into what's going to be happening this episode. Of course, we always have our campus updates. We have a lot to go over. We're getting closer to Halloween, so we're seeing more and more events that we're proud to inform you guys about. And then we also have our legislative agendas. Of course, I know JP spoke a little bit about what he has planned, but we're going to get more into that later in the episode. And we're going to go into some fun Q&As. Halloween's coming up. Maybe you wanted to know what your senator's favorite Halloween movie is, or what we're going to be dressing up as for Halloween. All that coming soon. And with that being said, we'll be right back. And we are back. So this episode is a little bit different. As you know, Halloween is coming up, and this is technically the episode closest to Halloween because next week it'll already be past. So we're gonna actually cover a very discussed topic, and I've actually gotten this a few times personally messaged, and they want to know, Andrea, What is your favorite Halloween movie? I know there's a very much controversial topic. I know they say there's no right or wrong answer, but I mean, the people got to know, Andre. What is your favorite Halloween movie?
No, there's definitely a right and the wrong. Okay, here's the thing. I'm not the biggest fan of Halloween, so I'm gonna.
Yeah, we're gonna have to cancel her just for that statement.
Okay, if I had to choose, I think The Nightmare Before Christmas is a classic one, but I'll leave it at that because people either will say I think that's the one where they mention it's either it's either a Christmas movie or it's a Halloween movie. But I mean, if it's starting off, Halloween based, and that's how.
When I see that skeleton, I don't think Christmas. I mean that. I think Halloween. So for me, I would count that as a Halloween movie. But so that would be your favorite?
As of now, it'll probably change after the 31st.
Yeah, we'll see. How about yourself, JP? What's your favorite Halloween movie?
Yeah, before I talk about my favorite Halloween movie, I just want to say that Halloween, it's a pretty interesting holiday. I myself have not celebrated Halloween since I was about 8, but like,
Boo.
yeah, boo, yeah, I'm a pretty boring guy in that aspect. But I do actually have, contrary to Senator Gaitan over here, I do actually have a favorite movie. It's not a Halloween movie. I'm more of a horror movie kind of guy myself. But I will say, for example, one of the movies that I've seen recently, about a week ago, was Speak No Evil. It's in theaters right now. It's a pretty interesting movie. It's actually based off an indie film in Denmark that was made 2 years ago. So say what you will about Hollywood remaking everything, but man, that was just 2 years ago. But it is a pretty good movie, honestly. It's very suspenseful. I don't want to give any spoilers, but I kind of want to. But yeah, it's a very fun movie. It really puts you on the edge of your seat. And one of the things I'm excited for actually is to watch the original Danish film, hopefully with subtitles or something.
Yes, I have heard that the,
Yeah.
the original Danish version is more, I guess, extreme, or it's more uh, scary. That's what I've heard.
So one of the things that they talk about a lot when they're comparing the two movies is that the American version is again very an Americanized type of thing, where the ending is actually different. Where might give a little bit of a spoiler, but the family turns out all right in the American movie. I will say that much.
To all of our listeners who haven't seen the film.
And then in the Danish film, it's actually a lot more intense, is what they say. So I'm actually looking forward. As long as soon as I'm done with the exams that I have, I'm going to be looking forward to watching the original Danish film. But so far, that's a sort of not Hollywood, sorry, Halloween type of movie that I've seen recently that I've really enjoyed.
Well, there you go. For all of our listeners who needed a movie recommendation, we gave you two awesome ones. I'm going to go ahead and withhold mine so I don't get canceled.
No, please.
I need your votes next semester. So I'm just going to leave it at that. But actually, I do want to move on to a next topic, which is going to be something that JP and Andrea went to, which was the UTRGV madness. So I guess we'll open it up for Andrea. What was it like? What was the atmosphere like? What was your role in UTRGV madness that took place last week?
Yeah, I was there since the beginning, so I waited through the line. So the pre-party started at 7, so they had a bunch of booths out. People got to either paint their faces. I've seen people with tattoos. They were giving away a lot of free stuff, and I was in every single booth. I still have a bag there, and then by the time it was 8:30, the doors opened for the actual madness event, and I stayed all of it. I believe it ended at 10:30. So I was there from 7 to 10:30 and actually really enjoyed it. I got to see, both the female and the male players. I know there were also, I guess, some little games being played. So I know they would call out names, and then there was like a glass box where they would put someone in, and then the money would kind of go at.
Did you win any of the games? That's the
No,
question.
no, I know they were giving away what is it, Jimmy Dean's sandwiches. Like if you spin the wheel, that was the one thing that I was actually upset about not getting. I know there was a concession stand, but by the time I wanted something, it was already closed.
I mean, hey, there's always next year, right? And I did hear something. Was it true that you were a judge for some sort of contest that took place?
Oh, unfortunately, the Student Government Association did not participate in that event. I know there was still, I believe it was a dunk contest, which I guess part of me is a little happy that I didn't go through with it because I knew nothing. I was watching YouTube videos the night before along with another senator, but we did get to see it either way. And I I think it was a good experience, and also we did get a free shirt for those
Awesome.
that were there at 7.
I know when she told me that she was going to be a judge for a dunking
You
contest,
texted me.
I started sending her some Michael Jordan highlights. I said, "Look, this is what it's got to be." But that would have been fun. But hey, like I said, there's always next year.
Oh, when you were talking about dunking, I thought like a dunk tank of some
Oh.
kind. I didn't think you were talking about like dunking in basketball. I was like,
Basketball.
Yeah, they
how do you judge somebody just falling into the water? That's pretty. I mean, it's like, yeah, 10 out of 10 splash.
I mean, there is professional, like, I guess, swim divers, and they judge them like on how many flips they do, or I don't know, but
Yeah, nobody's flipping in a dunk tank booth.
yeah, for sure. But I do know, JP, that you also did participate in UTRGV Madness. Tell me a
Yes.
little bit about your experience, what you saw, and maybe how you participated in it.
So I was at it is true. I was at UTRGV Madness. It was pretty fun. It's actually I'm not usually at UTRGV events, so this was a very special one for me. It's something that I wanted to experience because people have been talking about how fun it can be, and I was just thinking, hey, why not? Let's get this experience under the belt and let's see what it's all about. And honestly, I'm really grateful that I went. I was going to go with one specific friend. It's a little bit funny. He didn't know that there was a pre-party. He thought it started at 9. He thought that it was just the game. So I ended up there early. I didn't really know anybody there, but then I found a bunch of the SGA people who were actually volunteering. So I went to go hang out with them for a bit. And then after that, showed up. It was a lot of fun. Unfortunately, I had to leave before the end of 10:30 because I had something to do at home. But highly recommend UTRGV Madness. It's extremely fun. I did get that free shirt. Love that free shirt.
I didn't get to go, so unfortunately, I did not get a free shirt.
It's
so-
because Mr. Howell here is not very fun.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to buy it either at the Pulga if it comes out somewhere, or maybe from one of you guys. Yeah, I really did want that shirt. But that leads me actually into the next, I guess, questions is, what costumes are you guys going to wear, or what plans do you have for Halloween? I know some people don't celebrate it, and some people just go all out. So where do you fall in between that, JP?
So, like I said earlier, I haven't celebrated Halloween since I was like 8, 9. Yeah, I'm not interesting,
Hey, you know
Mr.
what?
Howell.
You can dress up as a senator, right?
I can dress up as a
As
senator.
a SGA senator, that'll work. How about you, Andrea? Do you have any plans to dress up as something? I do know that for those who aren't aware, me and Andrea, we are also part of another organization, and we are going to a conference actually, and we're going to be in Tampa during Halloween. So we won't be able to celebrate it down here, but I still think I might pull out a costume. I mean, I don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
it's too good to pass up on. This is like one of the few days out of the year where you can like dress up and not get
Yeah.
looked at.
I will say though, it's not for Halloween, but I am the president of a different organization, the Neuroscience Society, and we're going to be having our first volunteering event coming up. It's going to be a trunk or treat over at La Feria ISD. And yeah, I actually will be dressing up as a bit of a mad scientist. Honestly, it's just going to be a lab coat, maybe some smoke on my face, gloves. Honestly, uh, what I look like in the lab is already scary enough. So it's gonna be a good time. But yeah, it's not really Halloween, but it is something that I'm gonna be dressing up as.
It counts. So if anyone wants to see JP dressed up, just go to his organization's volunteer event and yeah, say hi.
Yeah.
Andrea, are you going to dress up as anything or?
Well, like you mentioned, we're gonna go to the conference, so I didn't think you were going to dress up. But if you do, let me know, because really the only thing I have, because now I'm very underprepared, I have some Stitch pajamas from Lilo and Stitch, and that is the only
Hey,
thing that can count.
Sounds to me like she's looking for some feedback. So all of our listeners, please hit up Andrea with some costume recommendations, and maybe she'll pull it off. And with that being said, we do have a lot more to get into, so I'm going to go into a quick music break. And when we come back, we're going to be talking about some upcoming events taking place on campus, registration, and an update on our favorite ice cream man. And that's all coming when we come back. And we are back. And with that being said, we have a few updates for you all. Either some events happening this week or some events that took place last week. And our first stop or our first thing is actually going to be speaking on registration. And I know this past Friday, the priority registration opened up, so that's for students who made the president's list, dean's list, or if they had some accessibility issues that allowed them to make the priority list. So, Andrea, I'm gonna go ahead and open up the floor to you to speak about one, your experience with registration, and maybe some other experiences that you may have seen or heard from other students.
Yeah, so definitely during priority registration time, the Facebook group, and I know it's very chaotic, but it's probably my favorite time because of all the memes that keep coming up. So I think I've been on Dean's List since after my freshman year, so you kind of get the gist of how things are going to work. So for those students that don't know, if you want to make sure that you don't get stuck in the traffic, you have to apply to your classes within the first 5 seconds. So I don't know. I use Plan Ahead for those types of things because I know with priority registration there's going to be traffic, and the assist has maybe not broken down, but it's definitely freezed on me a couple of times. So I don't know if that ended up happening to you guys over the weekend.
No, so like our listeners know, I've mentioned it before. I procrastinate a lot, so I made the president's list, right? So I was able to register on Friday, but I actually didn't register till this morning, and I didn't have any issues. But I did remember seeing on the Facebook group chat that I know the website was slow for them, or for some people it didn't work. And I think that's because a lot of people were trying to register at the same time. Obviously, they want to get their classes registered for next semester, and so I think that's what contributed to it. But for me, it was kind of easy. But I know every student has a different experience, and so JP, have you registered already? And if so, what was your experience?
I have registered for the classes. Again, the upcoming semester is going to be my last semester here at UTRGV. It's been a fun time, but it's going to be time to move on. But it is. I will say this. I am a huge advocate for UTRGV upgrading its digital infrastructure. For example, we're moving on to a more modern version of Blackboard, and later on, a different kind of LMS learning platform. And again, I really like the people over at Colt, but one of the things that I believe needs to get fixed is the fact that Assist is very, very prone to crashing when students are trying to register for their classes. I remember being with friends and just being like, okay, guys, are you guys ready to not register for classes? Because it takes forever. It's a whole ordeal, and nobody's happy on campus. And I really do hope that gets fixed. Again, I love the folks over at Colt. I've spoken to them. They've presented to us, the senators, and I've spoken to them as just an individual student. I love what they do, but they really, I believe, need to get on fixing Assist to make it a better experience, especially for students who, again, have accessibility issues, or just students who are in a time crunch and maybe don't have 4 hours to stare at Assist to know what classes they need to register for. So after they hit the new LMS platform, I really do hope that Colt goes ahead and fixes that issue.
Yeah, and actually, just as you were speaking on that, it reminded me that today was also the registration opening date for seniors and I guess post bachelors, so people that are attending their or they're trying to get their master's or PhD. And then I do know tomorrow it opens up for juniors, and then Wednesday it opens up for sophomores, and then Thursday the last.
The freshmen, they get the scraps. I'm sorry.
Sorry, freshmen.
But I will say this though, I did have early registration because again I am on the president's list. So I'm very happy about that, and also the scholarship that I'm under allows for me to also register early for my classes. So one of the issues that I used to have a lot was registering for classes, but there wasn't enough room for them. So I think that UTRGV is pretty good about scheduling people who are on the president's list or who are seniors before the other folks, because there's nothing worse than being a senior not being able to graduate because you're missing 2 credits.
Yeah, that would be
Catastrophic.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So just to all of our juniors, sophomores, and freshmen, just remember it opens up at 9. So if you're one of the early birds and you want to just get it over with, it opens at 9. So just be prepared. And with that being said, we do have an upcoming event tomorrow that I want Senator Andrea to go ahead and speak about. And this one has been an event that was highly requested. It's been talked about. I am hoping it's going to have an amazing turnout. I have a feeling Andrea is going to be there for some reason, and it's going to be the Disney karaoke. So I'm going to turn it over to Andrea to kind of speak more about the event.
Yes, here's the thing. It's exciting because students have been requesting this for 2 months. So it got posted 2 months ago through the Facebook group. Someone had asked, so when are we going to do some type of, I guess, like Disney princess type of karaoke? And I was surprised by the amount of comments and reactions that actually liked. So I don't know, maybe they already had it planned or the student union just happened to look at the Facebook group, but this is going to take place in the game room at 1 p.m. Though I am not exactly sure how long. They had not specified what time it was going to end, but I'm for sure going to be there. I know of a different student that had texted me privately and actually sent her the information saying, "Hey, I know you kind of posted about this. I'm letting you know that this went through," and she got very excited about it. I think it's a good, I guess, engagement between the staff and the students to actually see their ideas turning to life. So I'm gonna be there. I don't know if y'all are gonna be there.
Well,
But
actually, I think everyone wants to know, Andrea, what song are you going to be singing?
I was thinking about that last night. But here's the thing: I've been so busy trying to get homework done before the conference that I have not looked into it. So if for whatever reason anyone's listening to this right now and wants to send me
Send song recommendations. There we go.
Halloween costumes and song recommendations.
There we go. And just an advice, I have heard Andrea sing "Do Not Go."
Wait, whoa. When did that happen?
I'm just messing with you. No,
Hey, bonus points if you do it in the Stitch outfit for the Disney karaoke.
well, that's
Yeah,
true.
that's true. No, yeah.
so if you want to see your senator sing, just go ahead and stop by tomorrow at 1 p.m. And actually, as you were speaking, Andrea, JP was telling me he's gonna show up as well. Is this Andrea? Is it something where you can dress up, or is it just singing?
I'm not sure if you can go in a full Halloween costume, but I've already seen students wear, I guess a Halloween shirt with either a pumpkin, a skeleton, something on it. So I'm assuming that is what they're typically going to wear. Because if that's the case, my Stitch shirt is already clean. I may as well bring it with
Just go all out.
Yeah, just go all out. Yeah.
I'm thinking that we should do a duet between JP and Andrea.
Oh, good.
Oh, good.
JP, what would be your preferred song?
I mean, does it have to be a Disney song?
It's Disney
Yeah.
karaoke.
It's Disney
If you
karaoke.
sing like some Nickelodeon song, I think you're gonna get
Nickelodeon
kicked out.
song. Huh. Can I sing a silly song from VeggieTales?
Oh, God.
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I can't really name a Disney song off the top of my head. I'm sorry.
I wonder if you can get over.
Oh, You Got a Friend in Me. Yeah, I used to be a big Toy Story fan when I was a little kid. Maybe something off the Cars soundtrack. Maybe.
If you sing "You Got a Friend in Me," I'm breaking news on this episode. I will join you, and we will light up UTRGV with our magical voices. But you have to stay tuned. That's why you have to come tomorrow and find out for yourself if we're going to be there or not. And with that being said, also another very important update on something that has been, this has been for months. This has been announced for months. It's been speculated for months. The hype behind it has been unreal, and that is the Jonathan ice cream giveaway that is happening on Halloween Day here at UTRGV in the Edinburgh campus. So for those who aren't aware, this student named Jonathan took the initiative to give out free ice cream to all UTRGV students in the Edinburgh campus on Halloween Day. After doing some research on him, he's done it before at his high school, at his local high schools, and so I guess he was ready to bring this sort of initiative to the university, and I know we've all been looking forward to it. So just in case you needed another reason to come to the university on Halloween, get your free ice cream. It's going to be, I anticipate the turnout to be amazing. Of course, I wish I could be there, but like I said earlier, me and Andrea are going to be at a conference with our other organization.
We'll be there in spirit, though. It's fine.
But we'll be there in spirit. Yes, exactly. And if one of you listeners wants to save me and Andrea an ice cream, we'll take it definitely. And so with that being said, we're going to go ahead and go into a quick music break. And when we come back, we're going to be talking about legislative agendas. Now, I know you've heard already from me and Andrea for weeks about our legislative agenda, but now that we have a fellow senator on the program, we're going to give him the opportunity to speak about what he wants to do in SGA, maybe some legislation ideas he has or some things he's heard. And with that being said, I know this last music break, someone told me it was a Christmas music instead of Halloween. So,
That was me.
Yeah,
That was
so-
me. The most Christmassy Halloween music.
so I said, you know what? Bet. So I'm gonna go ahead and switch it up, and now we're going full Halloween on you guys. And when we come back, we'll get into the legislative agendas.
Uh,
And we are back. And now we are going to go ahead and get into the legislative agendas. And with that being said, we have our senator, our fellow senator, and sergeant at arms, Juan Pablo Hernandez here.
Hi,
And,
guys.
and we're going to go ahead and let him talk about what he has planned or some things that he would want to see done on campus as a senator. So, with that being said, the floor is all yours.
All right, guys, we're going to be talking about my legislation for SGA. So I have three different things that I'm focusing on, besides being a sergeant at arms and keeping these guys on their best behavior. No, I'm kidding. Um, One of the things that I'm working on, like I talked about before, was the microwave initiative. It's not actually a legislation. We're not going to be voting on it, is what I mean to say. What I meant to say is that this is more advocating for this with the people who basically run the building. So, one of the concerns that I have about the science building is that, let's say you're a sciences student and you need to warm up your food, right? You're hungry, you brought your lunchbox, and it's time to eat. Have a little snack before your class in half an hour. The way things are right now, you have to walk all the way to the library, which is about a 7-minute walk, warm up your food, wait in that line because it's during lunch rush. There's only one microwave in the library, and it doesn't work fully, I don't believe. That's going to be another, let's say, 7 minutes of waiting in line, trying to warm up your food with a microwave that semi doesn't work. And then you have to walk back, and that's most of your time already eaten up. Where if we had a microwave in the science building, it would be a lot easier for students who do have to study, who are short on time and do have a time crunch going on, to warm up their food and do what they have to do as quick as possible. So that's one of the things I'm working on. Another thing that I'm working on is connecting students with professors with regards to research. I personally work in a research lab in McAllen, not here in Edinburgh. It is connected to the university, so it's under a professor in the School of Medicine named Dr. Mito. We work on, I'm not sure how much in depth I can go into this, but we do work on cancer treatments for glioblastoma, which is brain cancer, which is really interesting. But the problem is it's really hard to get a position in doing research if you don't know your way around. It is, if you're a freshman and you're looking for an opportunity, you have to know somebody, and I don't think that's fair. I think that students and professors should be connected together to have a sort of research symposium. For the next semester, I'm going to see if I can connect the Meet the Deans event. That's why I'm on Academic Affairs Committee here at SGA, so that I can actually advocate for the Meet the Deans to also have a little bit of a connecting students with professors. And even better would be an online platform for that, where it's basically like a marketplace where you can, the same way that, say, Amazon or eBay might connect a buyer with a seller, this platform, it would be kind of like Handshake, but for research. Just be like, hey, a professor is looking for a research assistant in a genetics lab, for example, and then the student gets connected to them and they live happily ever after.
That's actually a great idea. I would love to see that implemented. I guess my questions would be, one, I guess, how did you come up with this idea, or what inspired you to come up with this initiative, and then two, what steps would actually be needed to be taken for it to become a reality?
So, the reason why I advocate for these things is a lot of the things that I'm looking forward to in terms of improvement here at UTRGV come from both my experience and the experience of students that I've heard throughout UTRGV. Again, this is my last year here. I've been here for the past 3 years, and this is my fourth. So, you do learn a thing or two about how the university works and what doesn't work sometimes. So, one of the things, including microwaves, I myself have had to walk all the way to the library, and sometimes the union when that one doesn't work, and it's been extremely frustrating. Another thing that really frustrates me is the monopolization of study rooms, for example, the way that some groups of friends will start reserving the rooms for each other and just basically not let other students have their fair shot at studying in those rooms, which I believe should be fair to everybody. I am working on a solution to that, but if we have extra time, I will go more into that.
Awesome. Well, as you can see, guys, JP has a lot of great ideas, and that's why we're so glad to have him on the Student Government Association. And yes, please, if we have more time, we would love to get in more detail, or maybe come on a future episode. Maybe we can have you come on a future episode, and you can elaborate more on any updates. And
Sure. I'd actually really, really enjoy that. I'm actually having a lot of fun right now. These guys are making all sorts of funny faces, laughing in the background. I'm outing them right now, but yeah, you can hear them. You can hear them. Yeah, so it's fun. I hope to come back eventually.
Well, I heard from someone that actually watched our podcast. Well, the past few podcasts, they told me that that we giggle too much and that we can hear everything. So I've been trying to get away from the microphone.
yeah, no, you can hear me giggle like, I'm not a good, very
Yeah.
hiding it.
When you have a little teehee, that's Manly Skylar Howell over here.
My voice is like this, but whenever I'm off or when I think I'm off the mic and I laugh, it's
Goes an
yeah,
octave higher.
exactly. With that being said, though, Andre, do you have any legislative updates or anything that you want to, I guess, be brought attention to regarding any issues that you may have seen?
Yes, actually, a problem did get brought up today, and which is very convenient because I know we're in the middle of registration. A lot of students right now are complaining that there are not enough classes as you go through. Because I know you had mentioned it. Obviously, classes get more specified, once you become a junior and a senior, and they're saying that they're getting, I guess, either there's less classes or there's less available spots. So I don't know if that's something you guys have noticed. And how you mentioned, JP, you're about to graduate. So I don't know if you've noticed that this past week.
I have, in fact, noticed that. That's actually the reason why I believe that it's a really good idea for seniors and people who are on the president's list to have priority registration. I really do agree. A lot of people don't agree with that. A lot of people might say that's favoritism or perpetuating some kind of cycle where it's senior privilege or something, when in reality, it's just a matter of fact that in the lower level classes, there are about 10 professors for every subject. But if I give an example such as histology, there is one single professor who has been at UChargy for 20 years, and he's been the only one, as far as I know, to teach that one specific class. So, as you might, and it's a required class, quite frankly, for something that you need to graduate. So, it is a huge issue, which is why I do encourage everybody who's listening right now, go out and register before somebody registers before you. I really do recommend that. You will regret it. And even if you're not worried too much, I would recommend getting into the habit of registering early. And sometimes there are incentives for that. Sometimes UCharGV will deposit a nice amount of cash in your accounts. I don't know if you guys have been familiar with that before, but that does happen sometimes. So I highly encourage it.
With that being said, pretty much what he's trying to say is don't be like me, guys. Don't wait till the last minute. As soon as you're able to do it, get registered, get registered.
Yeah, I'm not a whole lot better, man. I myself procrastinate quite a lot. I've made it this far, and I've learned some lessons the hard way several times before. My parents would probably tell you that, but
Well, there you have
yeah.
it. If you're a procrastinator, to everyone listening, maybe you'd be a good fit for senator. Who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe it goes hand in hand. But with that being said, we're going to go ahead and go to our last music break. And when we come back, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up this episode with you all. And with that being said, we'll be right back. And we are back wrapping up this Halloween themed episode. And of course, with that being said, as we always do, we just want to thank every single student and every single listener for listening to us today. You could have been doing a million other things. I know it's been a hectic week, and with Halloween coming up, maybe you're shopping for your costumes or maybe you're making plans. But the fact that you're listening to us, we really do appreciate it. And Andrea, because I don't know if we had a little bit of a technical issue in the beginning of the episode. I don't know if you guys caught that. But just in case, we always have a disclaimer. And so we're just going to have Andrea read it out one more time for you all.
Yes. The views and opinions expressed on the SJ Insider podcast are those of us as hosts and senators and do not reflect the official stance of the Student Government Association as a whole. We are sharing our personal perspectives and ideas as senators, and our discussions are intended for informational and entertainment purposes only.
Awesome. And so, with that being said, JP, is there anything you want to say to, I guess, to our listeners, the students? I know that this is their first time kind of getting introduced to you. How was your experience here on the episode? Is there anything that you want to go ahead and tell our listeners?
Um, regarding, sorry.
Just the episode, how you felt.
Oh yeah, no. Just like my experience here on Vaquero Radio.
Yes.
Oh, guys, it's been amazing. Every individual student should come on here. Every single one, from freshman to senior, every single one should get this amazing experience.
I agree. I mean, getting this sort of opportunity and experience, it's really fun, it's informative, and I really do highly recommend it. If any of the students here have ever thought about starting their own radio show or DJ show, come to Vaquero Radio. It's a ton of fun. And so, is there anything you want to say, Andrea, as we close out the episode?
I'm just thanking everyone for listening, and then JP for actually coming on. I know, like you, like you had mentioned. I mean, you're about to graduate, and he actually told me off air that he's taking 19 hours this semester. So the fact that you even had time to come.
One time I took 21. That I do not recommend, guys.
Good.
I don't recommend it. Let's just say that it wasn't 21 for the entire semester. But guys, register early. Get the best professors. Rate My Professor. It's a real resource out there. And also, if you're bored, go to the Harvard one for Rate My Professor. Everybody's talking about how the Wi-Fi is really good. Every single one. I have no idea why. It's like this school is horrible. This thing is horrible, but the Wi-Fi is pretty good though. So like 5 stars.
There you go. And with that being said, JP, we have a tradition now to where in the beginning we said our names and we said the show title. Now we're going to go ahead and include that with you there. So I'm going to go ahead and say my name. Andrea's going to say her name. And then you're going to say your name. And then at the same time, we're going to say the name of the show. So with that being said, everyone, I'm Senator. Actually, before, really quick, we always do this. In case you have any ideas or anything that you would like to be us to talk about or any concerns you see on campus, you can always reach us on our social medias. For my Instagram, it's going to be Senator_Skyler. And for my Facebook, Senator.Skyler. And for Andrea's, it's going to be
Senator_Andrea Gaitan, and that's the same for both my Facebook and Instagram.
Okay, awesome. Just wanted to make that clear. Okay, so with that being said, I am Senator Skyler Howell.
I'm Senator Andrea Gaitan.
And I'm the Senator Juan Pablo Hernandez.
And this is
The SGA Insider.
Thank you guys for listening, and we'll be back on the next episode.
Thank you.